Good morning, guys. Automotive Inc. here. So today we don't have any birds fighting in the background yet. So let's talk about what happened. Got out, fired up Kong, took it to the gym early. When I came out, left the gym. You know how when you started, the gauges do their setup, they do their bounce back. All of the lights shut off except for the front crash avoidance system. So that's going to be the camera right there. You can see in the background, that little triangle right there. Don't cover that stuff up, guys. Now, when you have any dummy light, my suggestion is these cars are like giant computers and sometimes they have brain farts, so we got to reset them. Now with safety systems though, if you do one of these fixes and it shuts off the light and it comes back on, then I'd probably suggest you go and check in with your dealer and make sure. Now on the app itself, the OnStar app, it actually said there was no issue, and there is safety warning systems check. So usually what that means is it's having a brain fart, not necessarily is there an issue. Now this camera right up here, if you have time to drop it off and leave it for weeks or wait for this to be reordered, then have them pull that apart and put it back in, it may just waste your time. So what I like to do is I like to do some research and see if it's something. Now that camera's not blocked by anything, it's not dirty, it wasn't foggy, it's not wet, it's not anything like that. Also, it was just a normal start, there was nothing awry with that. So I searched the internet and found the fix for it. I want to show you guys today how simple it is, and after that, if it goes out and stays off, excellent. When this did shut off though, interesting enough, I lost lane departure warning, the rear parking sonar, and then I think that was it because this truck's pretty basic. But I'm going to show you where to do it, how to do it, and it won't hurt anything to at least try it. Again, if it comes back on, I suggest then at that point you check your app, your OnStar app, see if it is saying that there is a status issue with the truck, and if not, then you can dictate if you want to go to the dealership and get that done. All right, so fuse panels all over the truck. There is one right here. You'll see the little fuse icon here. I would start at the bottom down here with your hands and just gently pry it off. This panel does not need to be removed for that. Inside, you're looking for F11. So right here, how do you read these diagrams? Obviously just flip it around. F11's right there. You can see the two little micro fuses, and then we have the minis right here. If you go down to the F11, it says 10 amp VPM OHC and camera. So what you can do is then go in and find it. When you're trying to find the orientation of these fuse boxes, guys, again, you're not looking for a blown fuse on this. From the research says that it just needs to reset itself. So you can see in here, look for the big guys. So if you're having problems, then you can see the big guys right there, and then you can find your orientation from there. So that should be pretty easy there. So we're gonna look for F11, which I've deemed it's this guy. I don't have a polar with me, but some fine needle nose. So we can see right here that the fuse itself is still good. We have no issues there. They're saying pulled out, leave it for a minute. Again, we don't need to disconnect the battery. We don't need to do anything like that. And we're just gonna let it sit for a few minutes and then we'll put it back in. So, all right, so a few minutes have passed. We got the fuse back in. Now to put this panel back on, you can see it basically has no like leading edges that have to go in first, like at the top or anything like that. So I'm gonna just snap this back in. I've always said, guys, with plastics, just be cognizant that this stuff, if it bends, it will create like a white crease. So don't ever force it. My dad says you're forcing it, you're doing it wrong. So you can see right here, you kind of tip it in the back there. Other than that, there's no top edges or anything like that. It'll just kind of snap into place. That'll then set you up for your tab alignments, and then you can just kind of just push it in and snap it. All right, so back in the truck, guys, we are just going to fire it up. The dummy light right there, you can see it come on. It should go off after they do their sequence. That's it. So the fix is fairly easy because it's not really a fix, it's just kind of a reset, if you will. And then what I would do is just monitor it. Again, if it comes back on, you might have an actual issue with your camera. However, the research that I did, I found that most of the time, if almost always, that was not the issue where they needed to replace the camera or anything like that. It was literally just kind of like a reset. Now, most people might say that seems kind of ridiculous, but I mean, these things are just giant computers. Your phone does it all the time. Your phone will freeze up or it loses service and then can't reconnect to a new tower. So sometimes the computers just need a second to kind of reconnect themselves to whatnot. And if there's really not an issue, then I don't think you're going to have a big deal just resetting it with the fuse, monitoring it. If it doesn't come back on, awesome. If it does, head to the dealer. All right, guys, down there in the corner, or down here in the corner, is the subscribe button. If you wouldn't mind smashing a like. Anytime we put up good information that helps you out, I appreciate that. If you guys have a question, I do try and get back to you. I get 100 comments a day, so I try and reach out as much as I can. But I do appreciate you being here. See you on the next one.